Well, folks, showers, thunderstorms continuing to rumble across the Panhandle and just recently issued a new tornado warning. Still involved in that cluster of showers and thunderstorms that we've had a tornado watch for, and we'll be watching as this line of showers and thunderstorms continues to slide towards the east with some rotation in that general vicinity where we just were with the last tornado warning, except now just a little bit shifted further towards the east. The red box that you see is the tornado warning. It's what we call a tornado polygon issued from the National Weather Service. Inside this polygon is where we're seeing the potential for rotation in the atmosphere. So we're looking at western side of Bay County, maybe just a little bit of 30A or Inlet Beach could be involved in that as well. But anywhere from the airport down 79 toward the coastline on Highway 98 as well, we need to go ahead and find our safe places here right now. It's in association with the big batch of thunderstorms that indicated here with the severe thunderstorm warning in orange. The yellow colors are the tornado watch. A watch means that ingredients are there, maybe something happening in a little while from now, but a warning means that something is imminent, and that's what we have at this point in time right in western portions of Bay County. Not only that, we're dealing with very heavy showers and thunderstorms that are moving their way on through. The National Weather Service has gone ahead and also issued a flash flood warning for the darker color that you see, and then also in green, the lighter shade, that we've got a flash flood watch in effect here. These big time showers and thunderstorms that have been rumbling across the northern Gulf Coast have brought some heavy rains and some destructive winds as they've done so. So my friends in western Bay County, we need to go ahead and find our safe places as this squall line has worked its way a little bit further to the east. It's once again found a little more favorable conditions to try to rotate and produce the potential of some tornadic activity. On radar, doesn't look too impressive for that rotation. The line of showers and thunderstorms, that is still very gusty. And what we'll do is we'll zoom in on this line of showers and thunderstorms in that general vicinity. And I'll let you know exactly the kind of shape and we're seeing with this squall line and why that's important here for us. And it's actually, notice a little bit of the curvature that we've got with the deeper colors of red. Okay, those deeper colors on red on reflectivity are indicating the heavier showers and thunderstorms. Notice how it squiggles about just a little bit. This is where we're looking at some of the way that the winds are interacting with these showers and thunderstorms themselves and kind of molding them and helping to maybe foster some rotation. Now, all day long, we've had southerly winds. We're still dealing with those across Bay County. They're not going to shift largely to the west until some of this batch of rain moves through. More than likely, we won't shift completely to the westerly direction with our winds until later today. But once that starts to happen, that's when you know that we'll start to get out of some of this severe threat. But as long as we still have the severe winds coming in from the south, those strong winds that we've been dealing with, well, we're going to get all zoomed out. Let me back over to where we were talking about, hit the wrong button. As long as we're talking about some of these strong winds that we've got coming in from the south, then we're going to be looking at the potential of seeing this line of showers and thunderstorms interact with that and actually try to wrap some of those showers and thunderstorms around in a bit of a circle, and a little bit of rotation starts to take shape here for us. It grabs onto some of those strong winds. We can see that happening right now with velocity. Velocity is a way that we sample the way things are moving in the atmosphere. We can do so in two ways. We can see it with the form of precipitation like reflectivity. We can also see it with velocity, where we're sampling the winds, the way things are moving in the atmosphere. One of the reasons why the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning on this cell is because of the little notching that you see happening right on that squall line feature. Remember, we talked about a little bit of the squiggliness that line was showing, and that some of the winds that were coming in from the south were getting wrapped around and into this line of showers and thunderstorms. Now, the green indicates that winds are moving toward the radar scan. Here you see the radar scan coming around from the right side of your screen and moving to the left. The radar itself at Red Bay is just behind my template here, just behind my banner. So these winds that are in the brightest shades of green are moving in very fast, coming in from the south. This line of showers and thunderstorms is basically ingesting that inflow is what we call it, and starting to pull it up into the thunderstorm. And as it does so, it can produce a little rotation. And so we're seeing that right now on the west end of the beaches. Not a whole lot of winds moving away from the radar scan. I say that because you can see some of the reds showing up over Grayton Beach, indicating that we do have some winds moving away from the radar scan. But one thing about the colors when you're looking at velocity is the duller they are, the slower the winds are moving. The brighter shades that you see are indicating the faster the winds are going. And so when you have a real intense couplet, or when those greens and reds are right next to each other and they're very bright, that's when you're indicating that you've got rapid winds moving in a circle around each other, and possibly at that point in time really producing maybe something on the lines of a tornado. At this point in time, we're just seeing really the onshore winds kind of getting sucked into this line of showers and thunderstorms. We're not necessarily seeing the whole rotation happening on the backside of it. So I think this is another one of those cautionary moves by the National Weather Service to go ahead and issue a tornado warning. Now, that's not to say that we're not dealing with very damaging winds here. These winds are moving at 50 to 60 miles per hour in that brightest shade that you've got. That is enough to do tree damage. That is enough to create power outages. We definitely do not want to be on the roadways right now while we're looking at these strong winds. Unfortunately, we had a crash earlier on Highway 331. We also got reports of power outages back there in southern portions of Walton County from when this storm cell was there. And so now it's moving into Bay County. We need to hunker down. We need to find our safe places. And we need to wait until it starts to slide its way further off towards the east. Megan, it is moving rather quickly, though, off towards the east.
Yeah, it's moving upwards of 55, 60 miles per hour. So it's yet another fast-moving system out there. Let's take a live look over at radar right now to see what we're talking about. And I'm going to outline it once again because I know it's kind of hard to see it with all of these colors going on. So I'm going to outline it in a thick white line for you guys. This is where the warning is at. So it is on the western portion of Bay County, making its way towards the northeast as well, about 55 to 60 miles per hour. So once again, it is a very quick-moving system out there as well. Let's take a quick look at those storm ports as well, because it has been a very windy afternoon for us, and those winds are going to continue to happen for us as we head throughout the rest of the evening and even into tomorrow as well. Here's a quick look at those storm reports as we headed towards. Let's give my computer a minute to load. Oh, there they are. See all of those blue little bubbles? Those are all wind reports as well. And if I can come on over here and bring up our query tool, this is going to tell us just how fast those winds were blowing. Upwards of 42 miles per hour at FSUPC on that system over there. So it was very strong, continuing to get stronger as well. Let's clear out this one and see what other ones we can find. As we have closer towards the eastern half of Bay County, let's see what those wind speeds were like as well if I pull back my query tool. And you can tell it takes a minute to load. This one's also about 40 miles per hour for those wind speeds, but definitely it is stronger out there, all in part of a squall line feature, which is happening as part of our cold front outside as well. And let's go ahead and zoom this out so you can see the squall line feature as we head towards the rest of the panhandle as well. So we're going to go ahead and trace this orange and red line out there. It is moving from the west towards the east, and it's going to continue to move that way as we head towards the rest of the evening as well. Let's see if we can go ahead and move this. This tornado warning that we are experiencing right now is going to stay in effect until 5:45 this evening. So we've got about 25, 30 more minutes left of this warning, continuing to keep our eye on it throughout the rest of the way as well. Let's take a quick look at velocity, which we were just talking about. This is the measure of rotation in the atmosphere. Also, the wind speeds as well. Let's go ahead and zoom this in so we can see where the winds are wrapping around. We talked about how the greens and the blues, those are all winds moving towards the radar. However, as you head towards those reds, those are going away from the radar. And as those winds continue to mix, that's what actually causes our rotation in our environment, which caused them to go ahead and send out this warning over at the National Weather Service, again in effect until 5:45 this evening. Definitely a good idea to get into that safe space if you are in Bay County. I would go ahead and say anywhere in Bay County, really better to be safe than it is to be sorry, but definitely definitely if you are in the western portions of Bay County and along the coast as well, because that's where this system is at right now. And as it goes towards the rest of the evening as well, this is what we're looking at. There's that little notch that we're looking at as well. As we go throughout the rest of the evening, Ryan, we're going to continue to watch this, but that safe spot is in the central point on the lowest portion of your house.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, away from the windows, away from the doors. We want to be in a centralized location, whether it's a centralized closet, bathrooms are good spots, but anything that's on the first floor of your home and away from the outer walls or any windows, and of course, outward facing doors. What you want to do, though, is find that safe place here right now. If you are in western portions of Bay County, this is a very powerful line of showers and thunderstorms. It's dropping some very heavy rains. It's a squall line feature that's moving its way on through, and you can just see the jagged nature of this line of showers and thunderstorms by just following with me the deeper reds and oranges that you see showing up on reflectivity. Reflectivity takes a sample of what the rain, what the precipitation looks like in a storm. Is it heavy? Is it light? If it's very heavy showers and thunderstorms, it's showing up in the oranges and especially the reds. The lighter shades of green and even yellow indicating that we're maybe just seeing some general showers now over Walton and Okaloosa counties back towards the west. We're not seeing a whole lot yet down towards Gulf and Franklin counties, but there will be potential for this line to continue to migrate further towards the east. This is only round one of what could also be round two when it comes to severe thunderstorm risks, not only going into this evening, but overnight tonight. We still have a whole cold front with this low to get through. This is all developing on the warm front right now that's coming up out of the Gulf with those gusty southerly winds. But the jagged nature of that squall line feature just tells me how those winds are interacting with this line of showers and thunderstorms looking at reflectivity. I'm going to back out just a little bit so we can get a little idea of how maybe some of those showers and thunderstorms are kind of getting their shape because of the winds. And if we draw a line here, and you still got an idea of how we have some curvature going along that line, you can see that there's probably some strong winds bowing that segment back out towards the west, some westerly winds that are coming in, bowing this segment back out towards the east, those strong southerly winds that are coming in off of the Gulf, bowing that segment back out towards the west. All of this curvature along that line makes it really easy for us to rotate the atmosphere on these showers and thunderstorms. It makes it really easy for us to be primed for severe thunderstorms. And that's what we've got right now, a severe thunderstorm warned line of showers and thunderstorms moving through the panhandle. The severe thunderstorm warning itself goes out to 6:45. It's in anticipation of this line of showers and thunderstorms continuing to work its way toward Highway 231. But the tornado warned cell itself is actually located in western portions of Bay County. All right, out towards the airport is where we're seeing some of the signs of rotation, where some of these winds that we're talking about are starting to come about across each other. And you can really see that with the velocity signature here. So this is a sampling of the winds in the atmosphere. Now, it still looks a little bit on the broader side when you take a zoomed out look, but you get the idea of how we have the winds mixing along this line, giving us a little bit of a waviness or a curvature to that line of showers and thunderstorms. And the curvature, again, is what allows that thunderstorm to start to rotate. And so that's why we have to be very careful with this line of showers and thunderstorms as it moves through your neighborhoods here, as it's going to have some gusty winds, and we're going to have the potential of spawning some tornadic activity as it moves its way on through. Let's zoom in on the couplet itself. It's in western portions of Bay County right now. It's a very broad circulation. I say that because, well, winds coming into Panama City Beach are very strong up towards the airport. Well, then you got to go, from Panama City Beach all the way over to Grayton Beach, almost 20 miles before you see the winds actually wrap a little bit more so back out towards the west. There's a little bit of that trying to work its way back up into the coastline here. And there's a little of the tightening of some of those onshore winds trying to come around in this general vicinity. But you're still talking about over a 5-mile difference, roughly, between each side of those winds. And so in general terms, that's a very broad rotation. You don't tend to talk about tornadoes that are 5 to 10 miles wide. Most of the tornadoes we see are in the matter of a few hundred yards. So if you take that into perspective when you're looking at this velocity signature, you can get the idea that, hey, we're looking at large rotation in the atmosphere. Now, having said that, it's still rotating. It doesn't mean that inside some of this rotation, there couldn't be some localized area that the radar maybe not picking up on fine-tunedly enough to produce maybe a quick, brief spin-up. And so that's why the National Weather Service goes ahead and they issue on even broad rotation like this, because the potential for maybe some damaging winds inside of this broad rotation is still going to be a possibility for us. So the National Weather Service went ahead and issued a tornado warning on this broad rotation. We are looking at a decent try and maybe tightening of it right now over the last radar scan. I believe that just came in over a couple minutes. We'll see if this trend continues. And what I'm really looking at is kind of how it's starting to wrap back around up in here after coming in a little bit more onshore there. That last radar, or last arrow wasn't that better of drawn. But if you get an idea that there's a little more tightening here as opposed to the broader rotation that we've got going on around this whole thunderstorm complex. So we're going to continue to monitor this probably location in Bay County the most. And that appears to be moving its way a little bit more so toward the airport, okay? We're about to cross over 79 in Bay County here in northwestern portions of Bay County. We're just south of the Ebro location here right now. That would be Highway 20. So to give you an idea, 79 Highway 20, this is the general zone. It's in the tornado warned box where we need to find our safe places. This is where the rotation is in the atmosphere that could be producing some very damaging winds and the possibility of maybe a tornado. So we're going to continue to monitor this location with close intensity as it continues to work its way further off towards the northeast. Movement with it could take it a little bit more so into Washington County here in not too long. I don't want to forget about you guys up there further towards the north. We're still talking about some very heavy showers and thunderstorms. It's just the winds that we're getting onto the coastline right now in Bay County and wrapping up into this system at the airport are on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. A little further towards the north, those winds are a little bit more relaxed. Maybe, and I say that in general terms, okay? I know it's coming down pretty heavy and pretty ferociously in Vernon and Ponce de Leon right now. But in general terms, we're talking about lesser winds largely up to the northern flank of this line. If we continue to move away, now you're starting to see some brighter colors maybe showing up on radar, maybe up toward Chipoli and further towards the north in Jackson County here. There's Cottondale, Madrid, Alabama. And the western side of Jackson County, though, is pretty far away from the radar scan. And we're actually sampling now. If you look at the top of your screen, we're sampling from Alabama's radar for Rucker. The distance from the radar also matters when it comes to those winds because the radar scan leaves with height. So the higher up we go in the atmosphere, the less friction, the faster the winds can move. So sometimes that's why it looks like maybe we're getting a little bit more heavy winds over Chipoli and Cottondale right now, whereas if we were to move the radar scan just a little bit back towards the Ebro location, it's not as maybe bad, but you definitely see as you get more so towards Malone with the EVX radar that we're now sampling the upper levels of the atmosphere where winds are still very much churned up. But showers and thunderstorms are still occurring across 79, Chipoli, Vernon, Ponce de Leon. You guys are still dealing with some pretty heavy showers and thunderstorms. It's just you see as we start to get down into Bay County, just how much more powerful those winds look. And that's why we have a tornado warning right now. Those onshore winds coming in off the Gulf of Mexico and across Bay County are no joke. 50 to 60 mile per hour winds can do damage. We've already seen it happen in South Walton earlier this afternoon, earlier into the broadcasts, I should say. But this location that we were watching, we just got a new radar scan, and now we're starting to see actually a little bit more of a tightening couplet trying to take place with this storm cell. So go ahead, find your safe places here. 79, Highway 20. We are starting to see a little more rotation come upon itself. This cell has been one that's been tornado warned before, back over into Walton County on the coastline. It relaxed a little bit, as can be the case. Then the thunderstorm starts to mature again, it starts to grow again. It's able to feed a little bit more on that southerly wind. And then all of a sudden we start to see it rotating looking again. And that seems to be the case here right now. So let's go ahead and find our safe places. We're over the airport largely here right now as we're looking at some of the strongest winds, up 79 and just shy of Ebro and Highway 20. Megan, we've been watching this storm cell all the way back since Walton County. We had a brief little spin up there. It relaxed, and then it started to turn into broad rotation, which appears to be tightening up a little bit more so. You saying the same?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that over on live radar. Definitely raining hard out there. It's lightning and thundering too. We actually just heard a big crackle and pop over our station. Right now we're taking a live look over at radar, and I actually want to move this over to the debris signature. And what this does is it actually takes place, the radar picks up flying objects, debris in the air, and tries to find, if we can find that signature, if there's large flying objects around, then that could be debris tossed up by a possible tornado. And it is looking rather plain right now. However, let's try and zoom this in a little bit and see if we can find just a couple little specks out there, because I was looking at it and you can kind of see it where these brighter yellows are. That's where we're looking to see possible debris flying around in this system. But as of right now, it is looking rather clear. So that is the good news with this system, but we are continuing to watch it as we go throughout the rest of the evening as well. Right now, it is just south of Ebro. I'm going to go ahead and draw.
We now join our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
On is that continuing to work its way towards the northeast, away from our coastline now at about 55 to even upwards of 60 miles per hour. So it is a quick moving system out there. Let's go ahead and move on over towards some model runs to see if we can see how long this rain is going to last us as we go throughout the rest of the evening. So right now it is around 5:30 in the evening, and as we continue to head throughout the evening, this is now 6:30, continuing to spread its way throughout the rest of the panhandle. This is now 8 o'clock in the evening as well. So it's going to be a rainy night. It will become a little bit more scattered as we head into our overnight hours, but it's not leaving us until the wee hours of Thursday morning. So we'll be here all night long, keeping you guys informed the entire way. Although as we do head out towards Thursday, skies will begin to clear. Rain will settle down on Thursday, so that's some good news as well. But that does not take us out of the severe risk, because right now we are in that enhanced risk. That's the orange that you see in your screen. The yellow, that's the slight risk, which is the level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. And then that marginal risk is that darker of the two greens. As we head towards tomorrow, you can see that it is going to shift towards the east, leaving us out of that severe threat. So that's some good news as well. But like we said, we're definitely experiencing that severe weather right now in the form of tornadoes, strong winds, heavy rainfall. Rain is actually coming down at about 3/4 of an inch a minute, or an hour, I should say. Let me be correct on that one. 3/4 of an inch an hour. So it is heavy precipitation as well. You can see that on that live radar. And if we zoom out a little bit, you can see the strongest of the rain is associated with those orange and red colors, but that's not to discount the yellow on your screen as well. That is some stronger rain. It is associated with a squall line, which is where you can trace it. And we are going to zoom this in and take a live look over, because we can see those notches in the squall line. That's actually rather indicative of some rotation in the atmosphere as well, because winds are moving at different directions. This tornado warning is set to expire at 5:45, so that is in about 15 minutes. So we're going to continue to watch this. And if we move this on over to see some velocity, you can see where that rotation is at in the atmosphere as well. We're taking a look at these green colors right here. The blue and the green, the bright green, that means wind is quickly heading towards the radar. And you can see where that's starting to circle. That's actually where we're looking at for where this rotation is, right here. And we're going to continue to watch it, Ryan, as it moves to east to the northeast at about 55 to 60, 61 miles per hour too. So once again, it is a fast moving system. Definitely a good idea to get to your safe place if you are in western or even now central Bay County.
Yeah, definitely good idea there, Megan. We need to be in our safe places there on the northwestern side of Bay County around the airport and just starting to cross over into Washington County. This is all a part of a big complex of showers and thunderstorms that continues to stroll its way off towards the east. The low pressure system itself is still all the way back towards Texas. It's the showers you see in East Texas and into Louisiana on the left side of your screen. There's a cold front that extends from those showers and thunderstorms through Mississippi all the way down towards the south, out into the Gulf. And it's not until that feature back toward New Orleans goes all the way through the Panhandle that we eventually see conditions clear up for us. And that's not going to happen until we get into tomorrow morning, perhaps before sunrise, but we still have opportunity as long as that cold front's back towards the west and the current batch of thunderstorms is in place, that we could be looking at the potential of seeing more severe weather. We're just in that much of a ripe environment. Warm southerly winds, moist southerly winds coming in off the Gulf. You've got a frontal system that creates lift in the atmosphere. Rising motion in the atmosphere is what creates showers and thunderstorms. The more rising motion we can get, the bigger the thunderstorm we can create. The faster we can get those winds moving upwards away from the surface, the stronger those thunderstorms can get. If we can change winds with direction and height, we can get rotation in the atmosphere. We have southerly winds coming in right now, feeding this line of showers and thunderstorms. With a low, you have counterclockwise winds coming in. Those winds across Louisiana and into Mississippi behind this front and in the upper levels of the atmosphere are coming in from the west. So we've got the right setup to get showers and thunderstorms to continue for us as we go into the afternoon and the rest of the afternoon. That is, it's about evening hours now. The sun's setting about 7 o'clock here on us, but we're going to have a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity to get through, pretty much, the rest of the evening hours and into tonight, and there still will be potential for more severe thunderstorms. The orange polygon that you see is a severe thunderstorm warned section of the squall line. It encompasses Bay County as well as Washington County and eastern portions of Walton County. This is where we've got some of the most intense winds happening right now with this line of showers and thunderstorms. The yellow polygon that you see around the orange is the tornado watch, meaning, like we just talked about, we've got the ingredients. We just don't maybe have something necessarily in these zones yet that's actually a tornado. And that's where the tornado warning comes into place. A warning means something is imminent or happening right now. And that's what we're looking at in northwestern portions of Bay County. We've seen a line of showers and thunderstorms feed off some of that warm, moist wind, able to rotate and possibly produce a tornado. At this point in time, there's also a flash flood warning for all the heavy rains that we've seen across I-10 back towards Walton County and stretching up into Alabama, and that is very persistent. You can see that happening still on radar right now, and that flash flood warning means that you probably want to delay any travels here for the next while. Let's let this shower and thunderstorm activity start to die down a little bit. Let's let some of the ponding on the roadways start to back off a little bit, and that way we can travel safely. This line of showers and thunderstorms moving into Bay County right now, but back towards the west. Rains may be a little lighter over the Choctawhatchee Bay. It'd be okay if you need to get back onto the roadways at this point in time. But the shower and thunderstorm complex that's really got our attention here is the one that's moved its way into Bay County. It's right on the border now of Washington County as well. I'm going to flip over from reflectivity, which is showing us where the heaviest of the showers and thunderstorms are and where that squall line feature is. I'm going to get back to velocity here. What we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on that section of this shower and thunderstorm activity that has been showing signs of rotation, and it is continuing to show a decent little hook on it. And what we say with a hook is, if you imagine an upside down J or a fishing hook. That's the way that these winds are moving in the atmosphere right now, sampled by the radar with velocity. The brightest shades of greens and blues that you see are actually indicating winds that are moving very rapidly right now from the coastline of Panama City Beach, across the West Bay, all the way up into northern Bay County, then heading toward Ebro and actually getting absorbed into this squall line and almost working back up in on themselves funneling in the potential for us to see rotation here. And we're looking right around the Ebro location. Still, if you're in Ebro, if you're around Highway 20, 79, around the airport, these are still some of the places that look to be the hairiest with these rotating winds, and that we want to go ahead and stay in our safe places for. Looking further east and down the road from this couplet that's showing signs of rotation is a little bit further off towards the northeast. Maybe not all the way up to Vernon. I think we'd be just a little bit shy there of Vernon. But you'd be looking right up maybe towards 77, toward Massillon School, possibly crossing over Crystal Lake on the border of Washington and Bay counties. Is probably really, really windy in that location right now, but the rotating winds are still a little bit further towards your west there around the Crystal Lake area. As you look your way further up towards the northeast, again, we would be traveling more so in between Highway 77 and 79 as we move our way into Washington County with this cell not long from now. But you'd be looking close to the Vernon area, if not just to the south of it. This is a big time heads up for the Vernon location. It's still several minutes away from you, a good 15 minutes away from you to the southwest. But you need to start thinking about making preparations to get into your safe place. Where is that in your household? It's in the bottom story, away from the windows, away from any outward doors, any doors that would take you to the outside. And maybe a centralized bathroom in the bottom story of your house. If you have a 2-story house, bottom floor is the better one. Single story, just try to get away from the windows, away from the outside doors, and into the centralized areas of your house. Anybody from Ebro to Vernon on 79 needs to be in that safe place here right now. Anybody in southern portions of Washington County, south of Vernon, in between Highway 77 and 79, you need to be in your safe places as well. Not only in those locations do I want you to be hunkered down, but look at these strong winds. While they're not rotating here in Bay County, as you look from Panama City Beach across the bay, just about getting into the Southport region now with some of those strongest of the winds, and even the Deer Point region. These are where we're looking at some of the very strong, powerful onshore winds that we still need to be hunkered down for. You're talking 50, 60 mile per hour winds here in this brightest shade on the color contour for us. And that's indicating a very strong southerly flow that's still feeding warm, moist air up into this system and possibly producing some wind damage as it does so. Megan, this is the case that we've been watching. As this thunderstorm complex originated in East Texas early this morning, I've been following it all the way from East Texas across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, where they were dealing with several tornado warnings, several wind reports, a lot of damage from this system.
Yeah, definitely a strong system that we've been dealing with. Definitely not one to take lightly out there. And I want to direct your attention back to the velocity, because we talked about this hook echo, we like to call it, because that's a lot of times where you will find your tornadic activity is within the hook echo. That's a telltale sign that you have a tornado on your signature. And this is where we're looking right now, where it looks like an upside down fishing hook right now. And right in the armpit of where that is where you are most likely to see a tornado. And it makes sense, because if we clear this, I'm going to outline our warning, and that is right inside the polygon of our warning as well. Here's our warning polygon, and it is heading towards Washington County. So if you're in Washington County, especially southwest Washington County, definitely get towards that safe space that we were talking about in the lowest section of your house, and also the most interior section of your house as well. I also want to switch this over to our radar so you can see the intensity of that rainfall that's happening right now. And right where we were talking about where that armpit or fishing hook was that is capable of producing a tornado, you could see some lightning in there as well. So it is definitely some thunderstorms out there, strong ones, severe ones, capable of producing a tornado, and you can see that right here. That warning is set to expire in just about 5 minutes. We're going to continue to talk about it until it does expire, however. But right now we're going to keep watching it, switching back on over to velocity, where you can see those strong winds wrapping around in those bright colors. They're moving faster when they're brighter. You can also see where those reds are coming into the picture as well. That's actually where winds are going away from the radar. So wind is going away from the radar in red, wind is going towards the radar in green. When they intermix, that's when they begin to start a rotation. So let's take a quick look at the bigger picture of where this system is at in the United States right now. It's all part of a big low pressure system, which is on the border of Texas and Oklahoma right now. And you can see this cold front that is associated with it, and the rain that's actually happening right now for us, that's right up near where the warm front is. So we still got a whole nother section of this system to go through as we head towards the rest of tonight as well. That's when the cold front, or round two as we like to call it, will kind of pass over us early in the morning on Thursday, overnight as well on Wednesday. As we head towards Thursday, it's going to get out of our hair. It's still going to be very windy, however, on Thursday. And then as we head towards Friday, that's actually when the sunshine is going to come back out as high pressure takes over. But until we get there, let's take one last look at what you can expect as far as that rainfall goes, because it's raining hard right now. We even got a tornado out there, tornado warning, I should say. And as we go throughout the rest of the evening, it is going to be a very rainy evening. It will break up a little bit as we head into our overnight hours, but that's not to say that this rain can't be strong. You can definitely see that right here in your reds and orange and even dark red colors. This is now 1 a.m. on Thursday. So it's definitely going to be rainy out there right now. You can see that on your advisories and watches, what we've got going on right now. We are still in a severe thunderstorm warning, which means that the conditions are there for a severe thunderstorm. You can also see that we also have a tornado watch. The good news is that it does look like that tornado warning is about to expire, Ryan. So I'm going to toss it back on over to you as far as that goes.
Yeah, we're going to be watching this tornado warning cell here for the next 15 minutes and see if the National Weather Service decides to extend it a little further toward the north. We'll start to get some inklings as we watch radar and velocity with it again. And folks in northern Bay County, near the airport up toward the Ebro region, just starting to cross into Washington County between 77 and 79, north of Highway 20, south of Vernon. Those are the locations we're looking at here for you to be hunkered down as this complex works its way on through. Several wind reports have been the case here for us so far. That's what that blue little zipper looks like. If we zoom in on a couple of these, you'll be able to tell that there's been some powerful winds. This is some of the locations that we were looking at earlier about an hour ago, where we were talking about some pretty high winds moving in. There's a 42-mile-an-hour wind. That was actually before the squall line even made it here. Before the thunderstorms even made it here, we were talking about 40-mile-per-hour winds and non-thunderstorm wind gusts. It's just how gusty today has been, even without these showers and thunderstorms. And again, even another one there towards the Ed Walling region. Let's go down the coastline a little bit, because we also saw some very heavy winds so far in portions of Bay County. And actually what pops up right there is the potential of maybe some damage. Let's see if we can maybe sample that and find out from this storm report what might have happened here. It looks like a report from 1-inch tree limbs broken and shingles blown off. It takes quite a bit of powerful winds to do damage to shingles on top of your roof. Of course, we all know that, having been through Michael and through even some of the tornadic activity we've had already this year in Bay County. This coming from the Gulf Resort Beach location right there onto the coastline, the thunderstorm wind damage with that. The showers and thunderstorms associated with this system continue to produce gusty winds. It does appear, though, that we have now got a lot of broad rotation happening here. We're back to the order of almost 20-mile wide rotation happening with this cell. And it looks like the National Weather Service in Tallahassee has decided to go ahead and cancel the tornado warning earlier than it was set to expire. That's not to say that this isn't still a very powerful line of showers and thunderstorms moving through. Let's make sure that we're just hunkered down in Bay, Washington, and Holmes counties right now as the brunt of this squall line continues to inch its way further towards the east. Next up will be areas along Highway 231. We're going to be back in a couple minutes. Stay with us.